accepted.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Licence Board. Can I first of all ask, is there any apologies?
There are no apologies this morning, Convener.
Okay. Is there any declarations of interest? No declarations of interest. Can I now ask the officer to note and tell me all the members present for the meeting today?
Yes, Convener, I can indicate that today is the Convener Cathy McEwen, Councillor Jim Patterson, Councillor Andy Steele, Councillor Janice MacDonald, Councillor John Gray, Councillor Kevin Montgomery, Councillor Alec Leishman, Councillor Jamie Maguire and Councillor Bruce McFarlane. Have I missed anyone? I don't think I'm seeing anyone else on the meeting. No, I think that's it, Convener.
Okay, thank you. So we'll now start on the applications, and first of all we have applications for major variations of premises licence, and the first one is Aldi in the Bridgewater Shopping Centre. I believe there's a Miss Simpson here to speak to this application.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honours.
Yes, good morning. Douglas, would you like to introduce the application and explain the procedure for today?
Of course, Convener. Yeah, just to briefly indicate that this is an application for variation, and it seeks to make some changes to the operating plan, including click and collect and deliveries and recorded music be played in the premises, and also an increase to capacity. And there are no adverse comments in the application. So if you're happy just to hear from Miss Simpson, there's no other parties for this matter, Convener. This is the one at Bridgewater, Miss Simpson, and in the course of your submission, if you could just also confirm if you're happy to agree the standard policy conditions on deliveries as well.
Okay, Miss Simpson, would you like to speak to the application, bearing that all in mind?
Thank you, Convener. As we've heard, this is a major variation application for Aldi in Erskine. I thought it might be helpful just to explain the background to this. The changes are part of a Aldi-wide store refurbishment programme. Every year, so many stores are on their refurbishment list, and it happens that the Erskine store is one of the ones on the list for this year. As part of that refurbishment, there's various changes made primarily to the fixtures and fittings that are in the store. A lot of them are changed. For example, the chiller units are upgraded to a more environmentally friendly design. In terms of alcohol, the alcohol fixtures are also changed. They are slightly bigger, a bit more robust just in the actual shelving units, and they're a little bit thicker, so they take up a little bit more room. Just looking at the numbers or the capacity figures for this store. So this store has a permanent capacity and a seasonal capacity, which allows for the alcohol area to be extended during the festive period. So the permanent capacity at the moment is 30.375 square metres. We're looking to increase that to 34 square metres. The seasonal capacity is 6.75 square metres, and we're looking to increase that to 7.2 square metres. As I've explained, the increase is primarily due to the shelving units being changed. There isn't actually going to be any real increase in the amount of products on display. It is just going to be the way they're displayed. And as part of the application, we're also taking the opportunity to add recorded music as a permitted activity, simply as background music, and add in some wording to allow the store to offer click and collect and home deliveries to allow some flexibility in the future. I'm happy to agree the standard delivery conditions. That's absolutely fine. There's no objections or representations. Happy to take any questions you have. Otherwise, I'd ask you to grant.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from members? Councillor Steele?
Many thanks, Convener. Morning, Miss Simpson. I've no objection to the application whatsoever. I'm just looking, you mentioned the extending the the floor space for alcohol at the festive period. Could you just give a quick reassurance that that will be within the overall area and not elsewhere in the store as per regulations? Thank you.
Yeah, so just to clarify, this store has a permanent capacity that's along one of the walls, and it has a seasonal capacity that is directly adjacent to that area, but it's part of the middle aisle. So it is all part of one BWS area that is already permitted in terms of the existing premises license. We are simply looking to increase that area very, very slightly, just because the actual units are going to be reconfigured. That's it. I mean, it's a very small increase. In that area, we're looking at 6.75 square meters to 7.2 square meters. It literally is just the way the shelving units having changed, but we're not moving that. That will stay where it is during the seasonal period.
Thank you.
Is that okay? Any other questions from members? No more questions. Well, I'll put the motion forward that we agree this major variation for Aldi Bridgewater Shopping Centre. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. We'll now go on to the second application for major variation of premises, and it is Aldi in 41 High Street, Renfrew. I believe, Ms Simpson, you're here to speak to that as well. Okay, so again, can I ask Douglas Campbell to introduce this?
Thanks, convener. Yes, again, just briefly, the application is seeking to introduce click and collect, and also, again, an increase in capacity. There are no adverse comments to the application, and we have again highlighted, Ms Simpson, that the board standard policy conditions, sorry, on deliveries have been highlighted in your citation, just in case you were to have deliveries as part of your operation. Okay.
Ms Simpson, would you like to speak to the application for the Aldi 41 High Street, please?
I'll keep this one fairly brief because it's almost identical to the Erskine application that we've just heard. The general background is exactly the same. It is part of the Aldi store-wide refurbishment programme. And as I've explained, fixtures and fittings being changed across the store. There's no seasonal capacity for this store. It is just one capacity. And that, as I explained, that the fixtures for that area are being changed. They're slightly thicker, so they take up a little bit more space. In terms of capacity, we're looking to increase from 33.75 to 39, so it's an increase of around 5 square meters. This is primarily because the fixtures are slightly taller than the existing fixtures, and that is mainly the reason for the increase. And again, the other changes in terms of adding click and collect, just to allow some flexibility in the future. Again, happy to agree the conditions. Subject to any questions you may have, again, I just ask you to grant.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from members? No questions. Well, again, I'll put a motion forward that we agree this major variation of premises. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms Simpson.
Thank you, Your Honours.
Okay, we'll now go on to an application for grant of premises licence, and it's for Monterey Jack's Unit 13 Excite. And again, Douglas, if you can introduce this and explain the procedure. I know there's a locality to be defined in this one.
Thanks, convener. Yes, if I can just briefly indicate, again, there are no adverse comments to this application. As you'll see from your papers, though, building standards come up with a higher capacity figure, but the applicant has agreed to restrict the number of persons to 120 in their application, which is fine. As far as the applications concerned, I would propose to ask Ms Simpson just a moment, convener, if she has any preliminary issues to raise, but apart from that, obviously as a preliminary matter we'll have to determine what the locality is, so we'll circulate the usual maps and go through the normal preliminaries. Can I just proceed to do that, convener?
Yes, of course.
Thanks, convener. Ms Simpson, apart from the matter of identifying locality, can you confirm that there's no preliminary issues to be raised? Sorry, it's Mr MacDonald, my apologies.
Yeah, I thought that. Is Mr MacDonald here, Douglas?
I certainly think he was. Not seen his name in the. He was in the lobby earlier on, so can I just check if he's there and we can bring him in, please?
Yes, yes, please do.
He was in, but he's not showing us. We'll try and get connection again. Okay, bear with us.
There we are. I think we have Mr MacDonald now. Okay, Douglas, it looks as if we now have Mr MacDonald here. So if you want to again explain the procedure.
Thanks, convener. Yes, Mr MacDonald, the matter had called just a moment ago and obviously hadn't appreciated that you'd lost connection. But as far as the application is concerned, it's an application for a new licence, so our practice is to identify a locality. Initially, Mr MacDonald, which we'll do shortly, will intimate the normal maps to you, which you've received, of course, by your citation letter. Can I just confirm, apart from identifying locality, Mr MacDonald, there are no other preliminary matters that you wish to raise at this time? I think you're on mute, Mr MacDonald. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Are there no preliminary issues, Mr MacDonald?
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me or could hear
I can
me.
hear. I can hear you now, Mr MacDonald. I wasn't hearing
fine.
you a moment ago.
It froze for a while. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not having much luck. I hope it's worth the wait. But yes, I did receive that and have no other preliminaries.
Okay. Thanks, Mr MacDonald. As far as the locality is concerned, you'll see that with your citation letter, we've provided maps of 3 localities which the board could decide as the locality for the purpose of the application. So these show radii of 200, 400 and 800 square metres. We appreciate the application is for premises within Excite. Can you confirm your submission as to what the board should consider to be the locality? For example, should it be the 200, the 400 or the 800 metre radius?
I think the 200 radius would take into account Excite, which I think is the relevant area in this case, Your Honours, but I'm in your hands.
Thanks. Obviously, convener, the first matter is for the board to determine what should be considered the locality. Are you happy to take Mr MacDonald's submission, or is there an alternative motion for yourself and for the board?
No, I'm quite happy with that. So we'll go for the 200 metres as far as the locality.
Can I just confirm with members that they're quite happy with the 200 metre locality suggested by the convener?
Agreed.
Yep, I think that is agreed. On that basis, Ms MacDonald, just to confirm the position, the 200 metre locality that's been agreed by the board shows 13 13 premises with on sales, totaling 6,601 capacity, and there are no off sales premises, no off sales only premises within that locality. Ms MacDonald, can I just ask you to confirm whether you'd be asking the board to have regard to the premises with on sales or off? I suppose it's going to be the same result anyway because there are no off sales.
Yes, that's correct.
So you're happy just to have all those premises taken into account as type? So board will are the board happy to agree to just consider all premises within the locality on that basis, convener?
Yes.
And is that agreed by members too? Yeah, that's agreed. On that basis, Mr MacDonald, the board will have regard to all the premises within the locality, which totals 6,601, which is on sales capacity. On that basis, convener, as I've indicated, there are no adverse comments to the application. The matter of capacity, the applicant has chosen to restrict to 120, and Ms MacDonald may wish to address the matter of the licence and policy statement conditions on deliveries, just in case the premises decide in the future to have those, because there is an off-sales element to the application. I'm happy that that's all the preliminaries matters dealt with, convener.
Okay, Mr MacDonald, would you like to speak to the board further on this application?
Yes, thank you, convener. Yes, this is an application for a site within Excite at Braehead. It was previously licensed. This is we tried to keep this application as similar as possible to the previous license. It was Chiquita's, which closed, I think, at the beginning of the pandemic. Our clients moved in at the end of 2022, and when we were lodging the application, we did try to keep it as similar as possible to the previous one, including the capacity. We repeated the capacity that was in the previous license. Monterey Jacks are a privately owned company, Your Honours. They have outlets in Stirling, Falkirk, Perth, East Kilbride, Glasgow. Several of these are within shopping centres. They're a popular, family-friendly type of operation, and we're delighted to be given the opportunity of locating into these premises, which is of course, an entertainment facility with supporting restaurants. So it suited their demographic and suited their type of operation, and hopefully they're being seen as a plus and an addition to the shopping centre, Your Honours. The benefit of occasional licenses, for which we're very grateful. I'm not aware of any problems that the occasional licenses have provided to the board, the police, your licensing officers, etc. As I say, it's a like-for-like application. It's in a location that is designated for entertainment, and hopefully our clients, on a temporary basis under occasionals, were a good addition, and hopefully they can be made permanent, because they do very much like this location. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Mr MacDonald, is there any questions from members? No questions. Well, I'll put the motion forward that we agree this application for the grant of a premises licence. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you, Mr MacDonald.
Thank you, Your Honours, appreciate it.
Okay, the next items on the agenda are simply for noting. They are on between pages 3 and 16. Can we note these allocated applications? Is that noted? Yeah, thank you. And the last thing that comes under administrative items is the minute of the previous meeting on 20th of November 2023, and that's to be agreed. Can we agree these minutes, or is there any questions from members?
Agreed.
No questions. Well, that is everything for today, members, and that was a very quick meeting, and thank you everybody for being here this morning. Thanks very much. So have a nice day, everybody.
Yeah.